Hi everyone, so I've actually been in BBX for 5 years now. I was in Australia for 3 years, signed up over there, and I've transferred my account over here. I work all over the UK, based on the Isle of Wight, but I head from here all the way up to as far as Cambridge, Manchester kind of area. And so quite often I can fit in seeing people all over. So if somebody needs any of the services that we provide, I can go physically to people. But with the joys of technology now, I can actually deliver for people remotely, and I train internationally via video conferencing live so that people can ask their questions and get real clarity on what we do. I actually used to be based in Bournemouth, and I went to uni in Bournemouth at the Arts Uni, and while I was at uni, I used social media and £0 to raise an audience of 3 million people on a website.
I can vouch for that as well.
And people are still trying to join the website even though we've closed it. We've got social presence that has been left there as kind of a cornerstone of where we came from, that people are still going and adding themselves to today. Every day I get a ping from the page and it's a nice little smile and a reminder where I came from. Social media plays a massively pivotal role in every single business. If you think you've got a business that doesn't do social media, I challenge you to give me 90 minutes and I will show you that that's not true. A funeral director can use social media to better their business, which is kind of out there when you think about what that job is. Just a quick show of hands in the room, who hasn't touched their phone since they arrived? Wow, I'm really impressed. At networking, spend time with the people in the room. I don't carry business cards and I only take my phone out for connections and to record things like take photos and to record audio. That's the only reason my phone should be out at a networking event, because when you're with people, much like your family, spend time with them. Social media comes from a very similar ilk. It's called social media for a reason. It is not sell me your stuff. Most people see it as a marketing avenue for their business, which it absolutely 100% is. I just told you I managed to get an audience of 3 million people spending no money. You can do business on social media, but selling on social media is the worst thing you can do for your business. So how do you do it? If I'm telling you you can make sales there, but not to sell, it's about building a community and spending time socially on those platforms. It's about understanding how and why those platforms work. But most of you are probably busy running your businesses. I spend all day, every day, studying social media. It's what I do for a job full time. The main concern that most business owners have with running social media is, I don't have time. The really hard pill to swallow with that is, it's on you. 24 hours in a day, some businesses have got it and some haven't when it comes to social media. The only way to get better is to learn how to do it, and the best way to do that is to learn from people who've already done it. Mentoring, people who have run businesses before, go to a business mentor, you get there much quicker. You save expensive mistakes and you get the results, the good results. You want to do something that someone's done before? It's really easy. They just showed you. Copy it and you'll get there. There's a plan that you can follow. So I study it and I teach it. I travel up and down the country doing it. BBX credit here, I stopped in Boreham Wood for a meal the other day, and being on BBX, when you walk into somewhere and tell them you're with BBX, they know you're a business owner. And he asked what I did, I explained. He asked me to stay for an extra 15 minutes after my meal, analyse his website, and come back and give him a training. So from conversion point of view, you need to know what it is that you're selling. Social media, spending time building community and telling stories. Anyone ever never got read a story when they were a child? Put your hands up. There's a reason that stories work. Emotions are the reason that you remember things. Can anyone not remember the happiest time in their life? Can anyone not remember the saddest time in their life? And I bet you could tell me in detail about those moments. Could you tell me about an average time in your life? Probably not. The emotions are the reason that you remember things. So when you tell a good story, you evoke emotions. Has anyone in the room seen a TED Talk? Why do they work? There's a formula. They tell a story and they evoke emotion. It's concise and it keeps your attention. Jumping back to the topic, because it's social media, telling stories on social media is the quickest way to engage someone with your brand. Anyone in the room heard of Snapchat? Anyone in the room using Snapchat? Anyone in the room using Snapchat for their business? Why not? Doesn't work for my business, right? My business doesn't fit. Last week, lost track, worked 7 days this week. Last week, Snapchat made a massive change that is the reason that you need to use Snapchat for your business. Funeral directors can use Snapchat for business. It's telling stories, it's informative, and it is giving people the information they want, when they want it, where they want it. It's not about you. As much as you want to build a big business and you want it to be your business and about you, without your customers, you haven't got business. It's about the customers. In the same way, did anyone use Google Maps to find this restaurant? What happened about 5 minutes after you got here? Did your phone ping and go, how was the restaurant? Facebook does it. You were there yesterday. Give it a review. Google does it. You were there. Give it a review. The customers are doing social media whether you are doing it or not. I go to places. When I first went to Cambridge, the first thing I did was open Google Maps and go 50 businesses to work with. That was easy. Google Maps showed me all the places people had checked in the area. Creates a business listing. Claim this business. Claim this business. By the way, did you know you're not set up on Google properly? I'm accredited as a Google photographer. I go to businesses and I set people up properly with Google services. Start to finish, everything that Google provides, I put in place for people. This week, I just saved a business £150 a month by migrating all of their services into Google. Emails, unlimited online storage, video conferencing, and we're only just scratching the surface, and they're paying per person about £5 a month for all of that. Would anyone like to save money on any of that? Come and speak to me. It's actually scary how easy it is to move over to those services as well. To contextualize this, and I think we've had this chat before, I can work from anywhere. People say, where do you work from? Where are you based? That's my office. I can work from anywhere, and coming through, it's a Bournemouth story as well. I was driving out of Bournemouth, and because I work internationally, one of my Australian clients rang me at a time where I was traveling where I thought I probably wouldn't get interrupted to say, I need to move my emails, we need to do it today, I'm closing my account. How long's he been with them? About 7 years. So he wanted to use 7 years worth of emails over to a new provider. So I said, give me 10 minutes, pulled my car into a lay-by, got my mobile Wi-Fi out, made myself a cup of tea. Important things first. Took a photo of the cup of tea, sent it to him, said, now I'm ready. Started, and within that week, everything he had before, all the folders, all the emails, all his files had been moved from where he was to where he wanted to be, and everything seamlessly integrated, and all he had to do was pick up the phone. 64,000 emails. And he's a one-person business. Lots and lots of businesses use lots of different services. When you start a business, you use what you know. You go, oh, this works. Okay, this is a bit better. I'll do that. How many people have one service that provides everything they need? It's called Google. It's also super powerful in the fact it's got open API, which means people integrate for everything. Got a CRM system? Bet Google talks to it. Bet you can use Google Calendar with it. Bet you can use Google Contacts with it, because they've made it easy. You want to find something anywhere in any of those services, what's the biggest search engine in the world? So all of its search within its own products is powered by Google Search. It's actually become a phrase to go and Google something. You know you've made it in business when someone says that about your business. The social media side of it is super important that you understand it's a process to get that to happen. But if everything in your business is dotted all over the place, that's why you haven't got the time. I've got a customer who was using, in fact, I work from everywhere, Starbucks, Cambridgeshire, ever been somewhere, had a conversation, someone comes over and says, I wasn't listening, but I heard you talking about social media. I wasn't talking, I was teaching in Starbucks on video. He thought I'd made a phone call. I was teaching for an hour in Starbucks. He came and he said, I wasn't listening. We had a quick chat. He was using Microsoft 365 monthly subscription. But then because he does design work, he was also using Dropbox. Moving over to G Suite was on his agenda, but it wasn't a high priority because everything works. It all works, right? So I don't need to move. At the point I told him he's going to save £150 a month and he was more than welcome to buy me a coffee, he wanted to move. He booked an appointment on the spot to do it. Making everything there productive means you've got the time to do the other things. On average, and this may or may not apply to you, dependent on your business and dependent on what roles you play in your jobs, the average user looks at Facebook on their phone 50 times a day. Anyone prepared to give me their phone for me to quickly show you how unproductive you might be? You can't do it because I've got yours. I did it to you last time. Ben, can I borrow your phone, please?
Oh, no.
And he should know better.
This is going to be embarrassing.
You tried to embarrass me.
Yours is not too bad. So,
Did you know that?
well, yours is not too bad. I can see it already. So, does anyone else's phone look like this with all the icons on the background? Got them in folders, right? Is Facebook in a folder? No. If you've got Facebook in a folder on your phone, you just wasted 2 days a year of work life. It takes a second to get it on the home screen. If it's in a folder, 1, 2, 3. 3 times the amount of time, times 50 times a day, times work year. It's 2 whole work days. It's actually 15 hours of time that you just threw in the bin. So when people say, oh, yeah, no, but I like it neat. Okay, have it neat, but I get an extra 2 days a year of things that I can do, which could be a holiday. Could be a nice weekend in a cottage. Who would like an extra 2 days a year? And being more productive doesn't necessarily mean doing more. Everyone hears, oh, I like it so I can get more stuff done. I save myself time so I can take time off. I only work 4 days a week. I have a 3-day weekend because I'm productive for 4 days a week, so I don't need to do a 5-day week. Does anyone employ anyone? Okay. Most people who work office jobs work an 8-hour day. And they work 8 hours, and they turn up to work. You're going to hate me for this. When they get to work, they work hard, they have lunch, they work hard, and they go home. The amount of work that they get done in a day, if you said to them, you've got to get that work done and you can go home when you've finished, how long do you think it'd take? Half of that time. And you know it. As a business owner, you know it. So why do you tell them to work 8 hours? Systems and processes. The way, if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got, right? Wrong. If you always do what you've always done, you will get worse than you used to get. Technology, competition, and the way that people's perception of things has changed since last week. As technology and platforms and social media changes, so do people's expectations. I could tell what this restaurant was like before I got here. I could look at this restaurant before I got here. I could see what everyone else had said about this restaurant before I got here. I didn't have to turn up. I could have gone, Ben, why have you picked this place? Fortunately, good review, really nice restaurant. Good choice. But he's also aware that he's not completely set up on Google. And I'm sure he doesn't mind me saying this because he's already set up for someone to come in and photograph his business properly. In the same way, Christian provides a service for people, for events, things like that. Very similar I do photography, much less so now because I now teach. It's a very similar field. Who doesn't?
But then I don't deal with that Google accreditation, so
Yeah.
you can do that. Everyone's their own job.
So, if you has anyone in the room not got a professional photo on their social media? If you haven't, speak to Christian. He's here. Get him to do it. Remember that it's an appearance thing. I've turned up intentionally dressed like this. Some of you might have seen this already on a video. I went live from a ferry from the Isle of Wight to here to tell you ahead of time what was going to happen today. He thought I was going to talk about social media today. I was actually going to show you that you can all have more time off, get more stuff done, and make more money, and be good at social media. Every time I talk, there's a value proposition on that. In this room, I'm not going to ask you what you earn. You know that. Per day, roughly what you earn. 2 days a year. How long have you been in business? Just put that value in your head. You lost that amount of money already by today. If you're not prepared to go and make the changes, you will carry on losing that amount of money moving forwards because you're not prepared to make the change. Social media is moving at such a fast pace. As a business owner, unless you deal in social media, I would not expect you to be able to keep up with it. A lot of teenagers can't keep up with it, and they're on it all the time. You want to keep up with Snapchat? Speak to this woman. She's 66 and it's her favorite app. It's fun. And people can't get their head around that it used to be a certain type of app and now it's a serious business tool. There are people who are employed to run Snapchat for accounts, for businesses. When you hear, as a chocolate manufacturer, Cadbury's put half of their budget on Snapchat. Their whole budget. So if a big business like that thinks it's worth doing, as a small business, you might go, well, we haven't got the money to play, we can't do the filters. Guess what? Just like Facebook, it has a free level for you to use as well. Got a smartphone? You can use Snapchat. Just the same as you can use Facebook Live to do video. Anyone not using video for their business? It's okay, there are people that don't. But if you're in business, you should be. Why not? Now, talking to you, I talked about emotions. Some of you are probably feeling really uncomfortable now because I just told you you're not productive and you've lost a lot of money. It's true. But accepting that and then being prepared to learn is the important thing from it. Whether that's me, whether that's someone else, I've already endorsed 3 other businesses during this talk. Because there's enough business to go around. There's no need to be competitive. And with social media, when you partner with other people, you will make a bigger success than anyone else. What does Daniel do for work? Social media, right? And websites and design. He's an imperative part of my network. Ever been too busy, had to turn a client down? That's awkward. That's not a nice feeling to have to let someone down. Daniel, are you free? Could you cover this? Having the connections to be able to do it, and likewise, they'll do the same for you. It's exactly why BBX works. It all ties really neatly together. Social media is an imperative part of your business. The most important part of this is it is about the customer. It is about being prepared to learn and understanding that even if you don't want to be there, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, I'm not going to list them all. There's loads. If you're not on that platform, your customers are. And they're using it and you are losing their attention because they are spending time there while you're not talking to them. And they might be talking about you. If you're not on a platform, there's no way you can know that. Social listening, most people are all about posting outwardly. I schedule all of my content outwards other than what I do live. Most people do it on the fly. I spend a day a week putting some content in a queue that then goes out like while we're talking now. So I have content constantly posting for me. Outbound, automated. Inbound, now I'm free to talk to you. I literally answer the phone. How can I make your life easier? Every business should answer the phone like that. Funeral director might be a little bit awkward to answer like that, but actually, if you think about it, I'm in a difficult situation. I've never had to deal with someone dying before. I actually want someone just to make this really easy. Maybe you don't say it, but that's what the purpose is to make that person's life easy. Insurance. Why do people come to an insurance broker? Get me insurance. Why do people go to a social media manager? Make it work. Why do people go to BBX? Get me customers. Every business is about making it easy for the customer. If you think it's difficult to create social media content, right now I'm creating a podcast, presenting, writing a blog, and I've recorded a video. And it cost me £6 on Amazon for a car mount. I'm lucky in the fact I have 2 mobiles. But if you have a smartphone, which most people have now when they're in business, you can do all of it. It's about understanding it. There's loads of people who don't want to do video, don't want their face on it. Great. Time lapse, making what you make or doing what you do. Had the conversation in here. You come in here, there's an amazing assortment of foods here. Do you ever see them being made? You see them in there and you see them get cooked. I want to see that being made. I'm a chef by trade of 15 years. I'm currently discussing with a restaurant chain of 96 across the UK what they do with social media, because they don't. They do a very small amount, and actually the customers are all there. You look at the number of businesses on Facebook have 400 likes on Facebook, 8,000 people checked in here. There's a bit of a disconnect going on between the customers there and the business isn't. Have a think about your social media. There's plenty of people within the network, within BBX. We're on BBX for a reason. It's difficult to run a business, and it can also be lonely if you run a business on your own. Sometimes having those people to connect to, having the network, these events, makes that a lot easier. I hope I've given you some value. Hope I've given you some food for thought. I know Ben is going to now deal with the raffle side. If you want to talk to me, if you want to pick my brains on any of that stuff, please do come and talk to me. If I do talk quite fast, I'm very aware of that. Walking away from this, the blog that I've written while I'm stood here, will be online by tomorrow. And I will send Ben a link to send it out. It will come from here and from here. I've got audio in my pocket, video up here, and it will be turned into a blog with a video. You can listen, you can watch, or you can read it again tomorrow to remind yourself why you need to think about your social media. Thanks for listening, guys.